Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here with our Formula X for round 7 at Spa-Francorchamps. So back to reality, back to normality after the oval from last week. As much fun as that was, it is nice to see the cars going in 2 different directions. And let's have a look. Let's get you up to date with the brief, well, a quick introduction, I suppose, of what this is, Formula X. And I'm trying to find the bump that Jam wrote, because that explains so much better. So we're using the Red Bull standards in this Formula X Championship. They represent teams from Formula 1, as you can see there. Daz driving a Mercedes liveried Red Bull standard. They all start at a set power and weight, and every 2 rounds the teams, like you see there is Williams, is Shadow Rider, or Alpine for IR Graham. Each team can win points as well as the Drivers' Championship. There is a team championship, and every 2 rounds teams win tokens to get development, but it could be good, could be bad. It's down to a random spin, and they've just had themselves a good round of spending tokens, so I'll get you up to date with that. I think Kale's having a bit of an issue at the moment, but he's on his way. Sorry, not the liveliest of starts. I was trying to get stuff out. I want to read you the brief. Hello and welcome. This Sunday we have the 7th round of Formula X at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps. Standing starts return this week, so please take care into the tight La Source hairpin. Jokus returns for Red Bull as Dutch is unable to make the rest of the season, and Racer Brown returns for Mercedes to replace Cthulhu for 1 round. After the token spending of round 6, we see Aston Martin get a bump in power by plus 2%. Ferrari also a bump in power, up 2%. Alpine drop 2% in weight. McLaren gain 1% in power. Mercedes drop 1% in weight. Williams gain 1% in power, and Red Bull gain 2% in power. But like I said, there's been less than the 3 set of spending. I've lost track of who spent what, so I don't know who's at what with their developments at this point. This weekend's tyres are super softs and softs. They are randomly drawn before the event. Both tyre compounds must be used at some point during the race. We're at Spa-Francorchamps. It's going to be 12 o'clock during the day, and it's 4.35 miles with 34 turns. Really, that's a lot. So the grid is the reverse of the average points scored per race using drop scores. So this is going to be your grid, and then I'll get to your chats in the comments while Kale is rebooting. The servers have been having some real issues yesterday, but so far, looking around these guys, they're looking solid, aren't they? They're going in a straight line, they're not skipping across the tracks. So, all good. It looks like whatever the bugs were, they may be sorted out. Noxie back after Mika, sitting in for a round with him. They sat together in the car. So, anyway, here is the grid. Jokus will be on pole. Daz will be in 2nd for Mercedes. Jim will be 3rd for Williams. Kale sitting 4th for McLaren. Noxie will be 5th for Alpine. 6th will be Alexis Maximus for Red Bull. 7th will be Skyjacker for McLaren. 8th will be Jam in his Aston Martin. 9th will be Shadow Rider in the Williams. 10th will be Racer Brown, the standing in for Cthulhu in the Mercedes. In Tulu will be in his Ferrari in 11th spot. 12th spot will be Stevie Styler, also in a Ferrari. 13th will be Matt Psycho in the Aston Martin, and 14th IR Graham in the Alpine. I'll quickly go through the tables for you, because you must be thinking, ooh, I think I can pretty much suss out the table there with what you just read out. And you will be right, why does everyone keep disappearing? I'm there looking at my phone at tables, and every time I look up, it's empty. It's Spa as well. Spa's going to be interesting. I wonder if my man Shadow Rider is going to take us around for a whole lap. Shall we see? See if we get away with it? And I'll tell you the table. Psycho is leading before drop scores with 131 points. IR Graham second on 126 points. Stevie Styler third in the Ferrari on 104 points. Intula is fourth on 73 points. Shadow Rider, who we're sitting with right now, is fifth on 65 points. Jam is sixth with 62 points. Cthulhu seventh with 60 points. Skyjacker 8th with 58 points. It's so close, isn't it? 9th for Alexis Maximus on 50 points. Kale on 10th on 48 points. Noxie in 11th on 38 points. 12th for Jim Wise. Well, he's Jim now. 31 points. 13th, Daz on 30 points. 14th is Racer Brown on 15 points. 15th is Dutch on 11 points. Jokers is 16th on 3 points. And Mika Wivry is sitting 17th with her point. I'll quickly tell you the constructors, and then I'll look at the chat before he sets up the grid at 8 o'clock, which is minutes away, is it? No, it's 1 minute past, so we might... Oh, they're waiting for Kale, aren't they? Of course. So he's waiting for Kale, so we can still sit on board, looking at this lovely track. So Aston Martin are at the top of the constructors table with 193 points. Ferrari in second on 177 points. Third is Alpine on 165 points. Fourth, McLaren on 106 points. Fifth, Mercedes on 105 points. Sixth, Williams on 96 points. And Red Bull in seventh on 64 points. So now I've got you up to date with all the goings and the shenanigans and the stuff that's going on. Let's get ourselves into this. In the chat, we've got Mika Wivry saying hello there. Flashman saying evening all. Pat says hello. Have you recovered yesterday? This morning? I know. Frazzled, man, frazzled. But we had fun. We had fun. Yeah, I don't know if I commentated much on the 4 hours of what I was watching. I was more messing around with people in the chat. It ended up just being silliness. Mika Wivry says, I'm back in the pit lane this week. She's got her cans on, and she's doing a Christian Horner bit, shaking her leg about. Which principal would you be? I don't suppose anyone would choose Christian Horner. Is a bit Toto. Toto's a bit of a novel. I don't know who Alpine's manager is, because they just sacked the last one, didn't they? Or he walked away. Endurance Nut. Howdy, your Merc principal is on the pit wall, so Endurance Nut, he's your Toto. Wolfter, good evening. Hello. Joker saying good evening. Hi Jokers, you're driving tonight, I take it? Yeah, baby. Can't get used to that car again. Wolfter, so fast they are. Alan Sykes says hi. And Louis Silver says go into the goo. So, this is going to be crack-a-lacking. Has he done the whole lap yet? I don't think so. More chat. Mika Wivry, I'll get back to you on that one. You're trying to work out either who Alpine's manager is, principal, or which principal you would rather be. 2 minutes. 2 minutes we've been told. 2 minutes for a race start. Kale rebooting. I mean, wow. Not cross-promoting or anything, but you're not going to miss anything. It's happened. It's done. It's finished. You ain't going to see anything. But we did the... I was involved in a 24-hour endurance race around the Nürburgring 24-hour. I did 2 stints of 4 hours. I did the first stint. I think that was 10 till 2. Thanks. 10 till 2, and then again 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. So yeah, ironically, the 2 10 o'clock slots I did. It was great fun. It does wear you out. I mean, not as much as driving for 4 hours, I'm sure. They raced very hard, but God Almighty, yesterday evening the internet, the servers for GT Sport were an absolute mentalist. People were saying it's because of either the update or it was the first round of the FIAs. But yeah, man, to get a sturdy connection, some poor bloke had to leave his computer, his PS on, and he hosted the lobby for 3 stints. So yeah, it was mental. But anyway, don't worry about that. I'm not here to talk about that. Still buzzing off it, I think. Still got an adrenaline rush. Flashman saying, go Team Williams. Now, Flashman, are you Frank? Or are you Claire? So we've just seen Alexis Maximus. He's coming across the line. Set a 153. Get a rough idea. I don't think that's... He's done a 149. Who is the fastest? IR Graham with a 48.3. So we get a rough idea of what lap times they're doing. Now Jam is asking if everyone's ready. I'll get involved. I don't think I've ever said ready for a long time. Do you know what? I'm going to go full on. Yeet. Yeet it. Get in. So yeah, this broadcast, it might not explain things. I might have started it a bit sort of like, I've usually got the little bump thing. I'm ready to read out my phone the original sales pitch or whatever it is of this championship, but I couldn't find it. It was all a big mad rush. I was still eating my dinner about 20 minutes ago. So yes, it was a bit of a mad rush. So I didn't really get myself prepped like I usually do. I don't even think I've got the old Spa map out. I've got it somewhere though. Of course I know it off by heart, honestly. No, look, Spa, it's the top one. Did we do Spa recently? Oh, that must have been for the endurance. We must have been doing some whack tracks then that don't need maps for the last few races. Flashman says Frank on the weekday, Claire on the weekends. I like it. I like it. Nice. Chris saying, let's go Graham. Steve. Awesome stuff. So, I think that's everything. We're just waiting for the race. Wow, that's a long load up, innit? Oh, Jim's left the room. Oh dear, what are we going to do? Quit out? Wait for Jim to come back? There's a big slot missing there in second. Who would that be? Third, I mean, Kale. So I can't see Kale. Yeah, I can't see Kale, I don't think. Kale's that gap behind a Jocus, isn't it? Wow, everything seems really slow. I don't know whether or not to tell them. Are they all quitting out? Well, they're going. It's a restart. Let me just quickly... Oh, I've got a keyboard in front of me. Why would I can't see Kale. God damn it. Here we go. It's all starting greatly. We can blame the servers, I'm telling you. I don't think they've fully recovered. So, we're just... Oh, Matt Psycho's left as well. Restarting lobby. So we're going to zip out of all of this, and you're going to see that I've been wanging around in a Ferrari F40. And it all loads up. I wonder what I can do. What can I do to help things? So Mika Wivery says Alpine team principal is David Bowie. Brivio. David Brivio. So they're just frantically restarting the is there any lobbies I know who wouldn't mind me dropping in? Who we got there? Bidster. I haven't been in one of his lobsters for a while. One of his lobsters, yeah. I haven't touched his lobsters in a while. LS Deno, I used to race BMWs with LS Deno. They were great nights with the Beamers. But no, it's been a while. And Dankert, he was in the 24-hour Nürburgring thing. It looks like he can't get enough. He's there in the Beetle tonight. My word, guys. Can't get enough. And now, oh god, loads of people just appeared. Oh no, is that I'm going to come out of this, and then I'm going to go back in. Oh, Toyota, I could have read you that bump. Some really important information that the GT Sport has swiveling around. Oh, he's up already, look, he's got 3 people entered. It's only got 2 bars, it's not looking good, is it? The force, oh, it's just gone orange as well when I try and enter. No, it hasn't. There we go. It's fingers crossed tonight we might have a bit of a roller coaster ride. Racer Brown in-house saying a good evening all. whilst he's waiting for the game to reset. Yeah, I was testing one of them around Nürburgring, if you wanted to know. I was thinking of an hour's race around Nürburgring, but that is not the car to do it in, I don't think. Right then, Pat, also in the chat. David Brivio, you used to be the Suzuka MotoGP team boss. They had a really good season in 2020. Might be good for them, might be, but they lost Daniel Ricciardo, didn't they? And that's a big one, I think. Leaves a huge hole. Huge hole. Who do they fill that up with? Who's going to Alpine? I cannot think, so it can't be anyone. Who the hell have they got? PSN server status is still showing issues with Gaiman 7 social ... Ah, damn you, Sony. Scuppering it. I always have I start getting conspiracy theories about things like, oh, what is the PS5 suffering from the same thing, or I bet the PS5's fine. I bet everyone in PS5 is still getting internet very nicely. It's like, I think when HD came out, digital suddenly went fuzzy. Digital never used to be fuzzy. Digital TV, next to the old bloody tube TVs that we used to have, it was clear, crystal clear, and then suddenly we had to use this HD, and digital's fuzzy suddenly. Interesting, that, to me. So Intulu's going out, he looks good in his Ferrari. I did tell you where he was. Was he 4th in the championship, 5th in the championship? Ferrari having a really strong one, a really strong championship. I'm surprised they're not hot. Well, they are. They're second in the manufacturers, but we're seeing Stevie and Intulu finishing together quite a lot. They are a force, the Ferrari, this as a team, but Aston Martin obviously are top of the table, so both their drivers bringing in the points. But yeah, Ferrari, both drivers always getting good points. So Ferrari, it's not out of the equation that they could take this championship, this constructors, at the end. They've just been given a boost in power, as have Aston Martin though, so doesn't really alter too much. And in the championship, like I said, Intulu sitting somewhere 4th. I was right, 4th. But so far this championship is looking like it's between Aston Martin and Alpine, Psycho and IR Graham. Maybe Stevie Styler in the Ferrari, outside bets. If Psycho and IR Graham have some bad results in the meantime, but they are very, very consistent in this championship so far, always finishing up there. Skyjacker. Right, he's asking ready. Do I do another ready? Oh, I like Racer Brown's double Y. That's cool, man. Racer Brown. That's imaginative. I am impressed. That's really cool. I'm really impressed with that. I like that. I've never noticed it before. Do you do that every time? Is it every time? Does he do that every time? Has anyone else ever noticed that? So, Mika Wivery said, allegedly affecting everything from PS Vita to PS5. Alright then, fair enough. No conspiracy there then. It's not Sony trying to get everyone to buy a PS5. Because I've got to say, the sale, well, they sold out at Christmas, so the sales can't be that bad. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like the scramble like everyone had for a PS4. Everyone really needed a PS4. And it just doesn't seem to have that buzz around the PS5. I mean, you have a PS5 to play that game that they took away from PS4 because it didn't work. Cyberpunk 77 or whatever it is. And I think the best joke I ever read was, did anyone ever play Cyberpunk 1? So there they are, Jokers at the front, 35 laps around this legendary track. The Circuit Spa Francorchamps. We're going to see some tears, we're going to see some heroes. There it is, a green light. Joker's having a great start. Daz dropping behind, it's looking, Daz definitely dropped behind there into third. Jim taking up into second. I didn't notice if we could see Kale or not, sorry. So Jokers is out. No, Jokers is leading. Someone fell off the track. Who was it? There's Daz. Shadow Rider in 5th place. Skyjacker there is a little tussle going through Rouge there through them three. Whoa, it's tight around there. They're all jostling. There is Kale in 8th place. Kale is in the other McLaren, so yes, we can see him now. Racer Brown in 9th, 10th there for Intulu. Matt Psycho, 12th for Jam. IR Graham in 13th, and Stevie Styler at the back. So leading. Alexis Maximus has got ahead of Jokers. Jokers looks like he's having issues there. Through the corner, Alexis Maximus, the other Red Bull, taking the lead, taking it well. There goes Jim ahead of Shadow Rider. The two Williams, they're showing strong at Spa in the early doors. Remember, super softs and soft tyres to be used at this track. Jokers all over the curves. Daz following closely in the Mercedes. Skyjacker then in 6th place. He's got a lot of space around him. He can just concentrate on the race ahead. Doesn't have to worry too much. There is Noxie under fire from Kale. Kale lining him up. It looks like any minute now Kale will be trying to get something on that Alpine Ast. I imagine, they're all jostling down the back here with Matt in 9th. IR Graham just moving up into 10th ahead of Jam. It seems there's Stevie Styler. We saw Stevie Styler at the back, but no, Racer Brown. Racer Brown's really quite far back. He must have had a small mistake or a knock. Not sure. Intulu in 13th. Maybe them two came together. Here we are. Lovely battle between Aston Martin and Alpine, but it looks like IR Graham there has pulled it up to 10th place. We're in a bit of a poo here. See IR Graham and Jam battling it out, giving Stevie Styler the opportunity. It looks like Stevie Styler trying to get ahead of Jam, but Jam saying no, my 11th. And Stevie Styler there in 12th. These are all on racing soft tyres at the back here. Racer Brown's got a mountain to climb. So Alexis Maximus now completing lap 1 as he goes through Eau Rouge. And he is nearly 2 seconds ahead of Jim, who is ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider in the tow. We're assuming he's just going to blast. No, he's going to help his teammate. Bump him along a bit. They're 4 seconds ahead of Jokers. And there we see beautiful stuff. Oh, Shadow Rider feeling the back end of that. Red Bull Williams stepping out on him. Unbelievable. Fantastic there. So the Williams guys working together in 2nd and 3rd. Jokers down in 4th. Oh, he's out wide. He's out wide. He's Jokers. He's back on the track. And oh no, Daz losing it on the curb. We saw him going wide, and now he's got to wait for them all to come past. They've been told about the redresses, and there he goes. He can get back on. Poor Daz down to the back. So Maximus, Jim, Shadow Rider, Skyjacker up into 4th. He got past Jokers where we saw Jokers going wide, and Skyjacker now up into 4th for McLaren. Great stuff for McLaren. Brilliant race. Jokers there in 5th with IR Graham. Up into 6th already. IR Graham, absolutely no messing with IR Graham. He gets through the field like hot butter through a knife. Kale there in 8th place ahead of Stevie Styler. Stevie Styler and Intulu coming together through together. There you go. Matt Psycho and Jam. Linus Stern in the Aston Martins. They don't seem to be able to get the nip on that they had. Daz looking like he's all over the... Oh no, that's Racer Brown. All over the back of the two Aston Martins. They look like they're struggling here at Spa. Whatever their development program is, it's not working for this track at the moment. Alexis Maximus still leading from Jim. Whoa, Racer Brown struggling to slow that Merc down. It looked like Ferrari was wild off the track then. I don't know why I was talking into my can of Red Bull for you then. It must have sounded like an echo chamber. Yes, it looks like Jam. No, wrong way. I'm looking for the Ferraris and the McLaren. Kale in amongst the Ferraris there, trying to find a way through. They're all jostling around. Intulu also trying to find a way past his teammate. Little bunched up gang here, looking absolutely great. The Aston Martins making their way past Kale. Poor Kale, he was having a good race, and he's just suddenly found all these cars come upon him, getting into a race with the first Ferrari, and it's cost him. The rest of the cars getting through. So Stevie Styler now up into 8th with Intula in 9th. Matt Psycho moving up into 10th. Kale dropping into 11th spot. Kale part of the 24-hour race last night. So I imagine, or yesterday should I say, all the way through last night. So Kale probably tired. Tired boy. Jam is in 12th place with Racer Brown 13th, Daz in 14th. Not great for Mercedes at the moment with both cars. in the last two places. Alexis Maximus still that 2-second gap from Jim. And Jim is 1 second ahead of his teammate Shadow Rider in those Williams cars. Circa 1992, I think I had a guess a couple of weeks ago and no one corrected me. So I reckon I'm bob on that one. There is Skyjacker in the McLaren. Wow, what's that? 90s? It was 98 when they went silver, wasn't it? So anything before 97 up into the 70s. Skyjacker in the McLaren, a great 4.6 seconds behind Shadow Rider. Did a 51.7 his last time around. Shadow Rider did the fastest with a 51.1. But still, it's tenths in it. Graham now up into 5th. Jokers, Jokers. It's got Noxie. Noxie knocking on his door. No, Noxie's already passed by the time I got in his car. They're side by side, going up towards the Lecombs. In the chat then, Nico Ivory saying there's issues with the new controller. The sticks have a tendency to drift. Oh, nice. Whoa, a little bit of a lag spike we've got there from the Noxster. But like I said, the servers have been quite wild. Jokers just saw dropping down into 9th place. Stevie Styler in 7th now. Noxie being caught up is Stevie Styler. Matt Psycho in 8th. Stevie Styler. Ooh, Stevie Styler's looking like he's jittering around a bit. So let's have a look here. Alexis Maximus 2.8 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim now. Shadow Rider either pushing him along or looking to get past. But Shadow Rider, the fastest man on the track, on the 3rd lap. And he is there doing a great job, looking great for Williams there. Skyjacker 4.1 seconds. He doesn't have someone pushing him along, but he's 7.4 seconds ahead of IR Graham now. Now IR Graham, IR Graham's got damage on the front. I didn't know we had damage in this. Oh, it's gone. So IR Graham just had a little clout with something, because he had a bit of damage on the front, but it's gone now. Noxie still in that 6th place. Stevie Styler not managing to get past him on this lap. We saw he was all over the back of him. Matt Psycho in 8th. Did someone just come in the pits? Looked to me like they did, but we'll get there. 9th place for Ntulu. 10th in Jam. 11th for Jokers. Yeah, Racer Brown. Racer Brown came in. I wonder what he's coming for. That's very bizarre. Very bizarre indeed. Very early for a pit stop. Lap 4. He's, yeah, it's interesting. Maybe the tyres are going off that quickly. We will see. 52.5. It was about a second off his lap before. Was Alexis Maximus. He's on the super soft tyres. Half a tank of fuel. Half a tank of fuel for Shadow Rider. He has got past the Jim now. Jim doing a 53. Oh, Jim's lost the back end of that Williams. He's getting back on the track with Skyjacker. Skyjacker is on his way, sitting on board with Skyjacker as he is hunting down a podium position from Jim. We saw Jim just lose in the back end of that Williams on the curb. Spa has a tendency to do that. And now we see Skyjacker has pulled right up to the back of that Williams. A cracking battle ahead there. Jim now having to go defensive. He's going to lose some time on Shadow Rider. 5 seconds behind already. Shadow Rider, he'll be pushing to try and close that time to Alexis Maximus, and he's done a great job. 52.5 last time. How is Jim doing? Skyjacker there. Very close behind. Looking for a place in the chicane. Whoa! He came from a way back there, but oh, there we go. No, Jim not happy with those. He's on the super softs also. We've seen Racer Brown in, and now Jim. Alexis Maximus 2 seconds, 52.0. The last time for him, 50.8. Last time for Shadow Rider. IR Graham's got the fastest with a 50.5. Skyjacker now up into 3rd place. He's on the racing soft tyres. He's got half a tank of fuel. IR Graham. He's just done the fastest of all, and he's now 4.8 seconds behind Skyjacker. Noxie up into 5th with the pit stops. He's doing a great job. He did a 52.6 last time around. He's got Stevie Styler. Oh my God, look at the race down here I'm missing. I apologise. Wow, Ntulu. Stevie Styler and Matt Psycho all jostling for position. There's Matt Psycho. Is he up to 6? Stevie Styler trying to catch a slide, and he does so. Jam now just passing Intulu. Let's have a look on board with Intulu. This is intense stuff here in front. Aston Martin and Ferrari are battling it out. Whoa, Intulu losing the back end. Intulu losing the back end. He's just gathered it up. He hasn't lost too much time. What did we do there? There we go. He didn't lose too much time though, so not all bad. And now we can see Matt Psycho managing to pull a little bit away from Stevie Styler, and Jam is closing down on that. I don't know why Stevie Styler's suddenly struggling with grip, but the Aston Martin's looking like they're alive. Jam's tyre wear does look a lot less than Stevie Styler's, and Matt Psycho, yeah, hasn't got half the tyre wear. So maybe those Ferraris in the development, they're carrying some weight. There we see Alexis Maximus into the pits on those super soft tyres, so they're not going very long. This lap 7 of 35. We're going to have a lot of pit stops today, girls and boys. Get ready for a pit stop fest. It seems these tyres are not lasting at all well. The super softs and the softs have not got the durability in this series. Shadow Rider 6 seconds ahead of Skyjack. Skyjacker now up into second place. Another one. He's looking after his tyres okay. It looks like the racing softs are going to be the preferred tyre today. Io Graham up into third. Noxie up into fourth. Great job for the Alpine boys. Can they capitalise on this? Noxie doing a brilliant job with his super softs. He's not wearing them down like the other guys, but like again, with development, you don't know who is on what. Those Ferraris and the Red Bulls, they might be heavier than the rest of the cars out there. I imagine the team principals have been jotting down as they go along, so they know what cars are at what point in development. I didn't, so you don't know. Stevie Styler then, he really is tearing into those tyres, deciding not to come in yet. Jam in 7th, ahead of Intulu. We saw Intulu losing that back end. Daz early on, dropping off the pack. He's trying to make his way back up again. He's 3.3 seconds behind Jokus there. We saw him going out wide. A few cars getting past him. He's continued on, but those super softs are not giving him much grip in those corners, are they? There is Alexis Maximus after his pit stop, only 1.8 seconds behind his teammates. He's put the racing softs on, that car looking like it's on rails. Alexis Maximus, is this his day for the win? We've seen him leading this race. Racer Brown coming back, he's up to 12th now. He pitted, didn't he? We saw him pit very early in the race, very early. He's on the super softs. He pitted on lap 4, it seems. He's just done his fastest, the last lap, with a 1:51.688, and he's 4.2 seconds behind Jokers, 2 seconds ahead of Kale. Kale, his tyres look a little bit worse for wear. We saw everyone catching him up. He'd done a 53.9 the last time around, but he's had 2 really bad pit stops. There goes Jokers. We saw his tyres were looking pretty rough. Then, oops, in 13th there is Jim. We saw him make a small mistake and then come straight into the pits. Wise move. He's Jim the Wise. He made a great move there for Jim the Wise. Shadow Rider then extending that lead to 6.2 seconds from Skyjacker. His softs are pretty much mullered. He's got under a quarter of a tank of fuel. He did a 51.3 last time around. Skyjacker, his tyre wear not as bad. He hasn't used as much fuel up. He did a 51.4. So these two, it look like, if they can keep those tyres, they could do another lap or 2. Graham really cutting down the time between Skyjacker though, 2 seconds. He did a 50.4 his last time around, and he hasn't worn his tyres out half as much as those guys. So Graham and Matt Psycho, there we go, the 2 championship contenders have got themselves up into 3rd and 4th already. Shadow Rider, that's it for him for the tyres. He's going in. Skyjacker continuing on. I said Skyjacker's tyres didn't look as bad as Racer Brown's. Graham moving up into 2nd spot. Matt Psycho now for Aston Martin moving up into 3rd. The pit lane is quite weird, remember though, it comes around outside the other corner, so these guys haven't really gone yet. So Matt Psycho, he definitely looks like he's going to keep hold of that third place. They have made the pit stops longer, haven't they? So, yes, it might be quite painful. So Noxie, he's definitely up into fourth as he goes into a Rouge. There's Stevie Styler. He's up to fifth with Jam in sixth. And Tulu is seventh. Where has he come out? In eighth. Shadow Ride's come out in eighth. Ahead of Alexis Maximus. He's ahead of... Oh, he's really short-fueled it though. He's put the Super Softs on, you see. He probably knows the Super Softs don't go very long. So maybe he's just trying to get rid of the Super Soft stint early on. He's short-fueled it, put those Super Softs on, probably a few laps on those, then back onto the softs. There is Alexis Maximus on the softs. He's only 1.7 seconds behind Shadow Rider, and it looks like I'm talking about the Super Softs as a hindrance today, because Alexis Maximus has got his Super Soft stint out of the way already. And Shadow Rider yet to do them. He's on them now. Racer Brown, we saw pit earlier, he's put his Super Softs on now. He's gone fastest of all with a 1:49.648, and he's followed that up with a 49.8. So that man is on fire right now. He's on fire in the whole VRC, I've got to say. I think there isn't a table where his name isn't at the top of, virtually. And he's not taking part in this one. He's just a reserve, sitting in for Cthulhu. There's Skyjacker. Skyjacker has come into the pits. His fuel was screaming out. IR Graham then takes the lead. Noxie, 2 Alpines up in front. 1 and 2. Great stuff. Everyone else looks like they're pitting. Jam, Intulu, Matt Psycho, Skyjacker, Stevie Styler. Everyone coming into the pits. That's looking good for Shadow Rider, who's just hitting the start straight now. The 2 Alpine cars staying out there longer. It says Shadow Rider has moved up into third place, and we saw Racer Brown making that early pit stop, and it looks like he's paying him dividends now, because it's looking like he's moving around to a net fourth with Alexis Maximus in fifth. Jim, we saw make a mistake, go straight into the pits. Looks like he's maximised that mistake, because it's looking good to come out in sixth maybe. I'm expecting a car to appear. Not yet, no. Jim up into sixth. Skyjacker's first out in seventh place, ahead of Matt Psycho. Great stuff. Daz then coming around in ninth. Are some of these guys in the pits going to come out? The Ferrari boys. There's Jam just appearing in ninth place, ahead of Daz, but Daz has got past the pit lane, so he's in 10th. And then we get the Ferraris in 11th and 12th. They've put, Stevie Styler's gone Super Softs. Intula has gone Softs. Joker's there in 13th, pitted a couple of laps ago. He's on the Super Softs now. He's doing some 54 and a 56. And Kale we saw in the pits, and he's come out in front of a Joker's, some 18.6 seconds behind the Ferraris. It's not been going well for Kale. So IR Graham, his fuel is flashing, his tyres are pretty mullered. Well, has he done enough? 12 seconds ahead of Noxie, who's 13 seconds ahead of Shadow Rider. So Shadow Rider's 25 seconds. And to me, it looks like they're losing about 40 seconds. He's short-filled, and his pit stop was about 40 seconds. But then it's about 6 seconds off. So 32 seconds, their pit stops. Noxie in as well. Noxie, the 2 Alpine drivers, in the pits. Here comes Shadow Rider. Oh no, Shadow Rider on the curb. Shadow Rider, he's alright, he's gained it, he's gathered it up. He's gathered it up. Racer Brown's gone back into the pits. Alexis Maximus then. He's some 10 seconds behind Shadow Rider now. And Shadow Rider goes past the pit lane, so the Alpine cars have not appeared. Back in the lead. Well, you never know with IR Graham. He's amazing. So the Red Bull going back up into second spot. Jim just in front of IR Graham. So Jim in the third spot. But his tyres are starting to look used. And there is IR Graham with nearly a full fuel tank and Super Softs. So Jim will be under threat. I wouldn't even race him if I was you, Jim. I think Jim, wise thing to be doing. Wise man, Jim, a wise man would let him past. Shadow Rider then on those Super Softs. He's done a 50.4. The fastest lap time is a 49.6 in the chat. Mika Wivry said. She's just keeping quiet. There's no way she's going to jinx this. And Pat says, oh, go on. So Shadow Rider back in the lead by 10 seconds. That's healthy. That's healthy. We're on lap 11 of 35 already. 20 minutes into this race. Wow, where did that go? Have I been talking all the way through this? Has there been long gaps? Have I stared into space? Because that's never been 20 minutes, has it? My latte's still hot. How can it be 20 minutes? That's shocking. I'm really worried. I've been spent about 4 laps maybe staring into space and not talking. So Shadow Rider leading the way, 11.8 seconds. Alexis and Maximus there, 3.8 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim under threat from the Alpine driver. The Alpine, we said, on the super softs. Oh, Jim not giving much room, and the Alpine driver take it to the dirt, but now, whoa, he's going up the inside of him, and Jim did not get any option there. I.R. Graham left no options for Jim whatsoever. He got his car all the way up the side of him onto the apex. But earlier on, Jim trying to defend. I.R. Graham having to take to the dirt. And he rallied it. He rallied it for a bit in his Alpine. So Jim down into 4th. He's only a second ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho on the super softs also. Him and I.R. Graham doing similar strategies. Jam also going for the super softs. Behind them though, you've got Daz and Noxie fighting it out. Noxie on it. He's absolutely giving it some. Giving it big ones. Behind the Merc of Daz. Daz is pulling away down that straw. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It worries me when they break. And there you go. And it looks like Daz catching up Jam a little bit. So those Mercs are fast in a straight line. They really are. And to me it looks like this Alpine, good in the corners, hasn't quite got the poke to keep up with the Merc. There, the Merc just disappearing. Look at it. It's got to have some horsepower on the Alpine, I believe. Because he's just pulling away. Pulling away when it gets all opened up. Great racing back here for 8th and 7th. The Ferraris, there, super softs for Stevie Styler. He's done a 150.4. His last time around is 3.3 seconds. Oh, his teammate visiting the sand trap, building castles, digging holes. He's gone for a seaside break in Belgium. And now he's 5.6 seconds behind his teammate. In 10th. Skyjacker, what happened to you, man? You were in 3rd. How did you shuffle all the way down to 11th? Oh, he's had another 2:16. I wonder what's happened there. He's not on an outlap, so he's just had a really bad thing happen to him. We can all guess what happened to him, can't we? Do you think he wants to do a couple of donuts? Celebrate lap 11 with a donut or two? Maybe so. Skyjacker then down in 11th place. He's done a 151.0 now. He come back from that poor lap with a vengeance like no other. And Kale doing a 52.3 as well. Those McLarens starting to come good later in the race. Racer Brown in 12th place. Well, he was behind Skyjacker, wasn't he? So maybe with those pit stops, maybe these two will come back into it again. Not sure. Scratching my head on that one. I know Racer Brown is out of sync with everyone, and there is Jokers. Jokers are going to struggle with tyre wear tonight, it seems. So Shadow Rider. Oh, Shadow Rider's fuel is flashing. We knew he short-filled it. He's got the fastest lap of the race though, a 49.643. I.R. Graham, he's done a 50.091. He's 15 seconds behind the Shadow. And Shadow Rider going into the pits now, he must do, because of that fuel flashing. And the Alpine team retake the lead of Spa with Red Bull in second. Are they in second? No, because Matt Psycho is coming up the inside of Alexis Maximus, side by side into the chicane. Alexis Maximus still got that inside line. He's making it very difficult for Matt Psycho, but Matt Psycho does get through in the end, and Alexis Maximus concedes the corner. Meanwhile, Jim on Wise and Shadow Rider have nipped into the pits with Jam moving his Aston Martin up to 4th. Doing well for Aston so far, 2nd and 4th in this race, with Daz there in 5th for Merck. So it's looking very nice, although Daz will need a pit stop very, very soon. Stevie Styler now up into 6th place with Noxie behind him in 7th. Noxie's tyres on the softs, looking good. And Stevie starting to burn his super softs. Did a 51.8 his last time around. Noxie managing a 53.0, but it does look like Noxie really catching up Stevie Styler. Unless Stevie Styler's just got past Noxie, he could have done. Oh, hey! Noxie, I don't know if that was lag or if he flew over that corner. It looked awesome. Shadow Rider then, he's back out of the pits ahead of Intulu and Skyjacker. Intulu though not far behind the Williams, and he's on a good amount of fuel. His tyres still quite fresh. So Intulu trying to race Shadow Rider, but I don't want to jinx nothing. I don't want to say anything, but Shadow Rider looking like he's a cut above today. Him and Racer Brown are the only ones to get it into the 40s so far. It's impressive stuff. So up in the lead then, IR Graham, half a tank of fuel. Tyres still looking good. He's done a 49.9, so he's got it into the 40s as well. Into the 49s, so I take it back about IR Graham. Mick Wivery said, quick loo break. Did I miss anything? No, nothing. Your guys had a pit stop. Everyone's pitting all at different times. It's really hard to keep track of these strategies. Matt Psycho into 2nd place. 5.7 seconds because Alexis Maximus has come into the pits, as has Daz for Mercedes. Jam making it a Aston Martin 2-3. And they've got to get good points, these two, because they've got Ferrari breathing down their necks. Stevie Styler up into 4th now. He's got a good amount of fuel. His super softs feeling a little pain. Noxie into 5th, with Shadow Rider coming through into 6th after his pit stop. Intula in 7th. No need for a pit stop for him for a short while. Skyjacker up into 8th, half a tank of fuel. Racer Brown 9th, following the McLaren of... Why am I not doing these? I see he's got a really cool helmet through his window. There, that's nice. Nice helmet. Racer Brown, I like it. I like it. Likey. So there is Kale. Kale getting on form now. He had a bit of a shaky start to the race. He's up to 10th. He's done a 1:51.438. He's on his way now. Alexis Maximus, we saw just going into the pits. So Alexis Maximus in his Red Bull helmet. I like it when they match. Oh yeah, flying cars. Yeah, you did miss that, Mick Wivery. Noxie took off. It was amazing. Where we're going, Marty, we don't need no roads. So IR Graham there, beautiful little pace he's keeping himself there. For a couple of 49s, now he's into the 50s. He's got a nice amount of fuel, maybe he's thinking of a bit of fuel save here. 29 minutes into this race, lap 16, as we head through Eau Rouge. Matt Psycho in 2nd place, less than 5 seconds. Matt Psycho now the new lap time leader, a 49.465, fastest lap time leader, fastest lap time winner. I don't know, the person who holds the fastest lap, that's who Matt Psycho is at this moment. He got a 49.465. Do you want me to count up the hours of what commentating I've done this weekend? Because I will do it. If we're counting Max 5 on Friday, that was an hour and a half. And the 8 hours I did yesterday, that's 9.5. And the 30 minutes I've done now, so 10 hours, okay? 10 hours of communication through YouTube to nobody. Well, I'm not calling you guys nobody. I mean, I'm grateful someone's showing up, but in my mind, when I'm talking into this mic and no one's listening, that it helps. If I'm aware of people listening, then I start being aware of what I say, and then it'll be really like, eek. I just look at the telly and say, look, Jam's in third, Matt Psycho's in second, Graham is in first place. Great podium there. Stevie Styler, he's 8.2 seconds behind Jam, and Noxie closing down that distance unbelievably. A 50.7 last time round for Noxie. Noxie on Ferrari's case. He wants to get up there with his teammates. He's trying to get that toe, but you lose it all through here, I imagine. He's placing the car, Stevie, placing that car on the inside. Noxie trying to see how big that door is. But this isn't the corner, and we've seen a few people attempt it in this corner. I.R. Graham did it absolutely fantastically. Jam has come into the pits for Aston Martin. He's low on fuel, only 8% left. And Noxie moving himself up into fourth, while Stevie Styler takes the final podium step on lap 17. Wow, where is the time going? Where are these laps going? Why is time being sped up? I need to slow down so I can keep track of this race. So Pat says 10 hours talking into a TV in 3 days and still making sense. Good going. I don't think I am. You're very kind, Pat, but in my head this has felt a very messy, shaky commentary as they go. But I.R. Graham's leading. I can't even tell you the strategies because I can't work it out. I'm usually alright, but everyone seems to be stopping at different times and doing different things, and I'm bewildered. So I'm just clinging on by my fingers. It's that who was she? Katie Nash, was it? The song? Like I don't know how many years ago it was, about cracks in our foundation. Molding on to the cracks in our foundation. So Matt Psycho is on fumes in second spot. I.R. Graham, he's taken a round one more time. Let's go round again. Whilst Matt Psycho goes into the pits, the battle of the fuel tank won by Alpine. And Stevie Styler, he is absolutely on it in this race. He's gonna make something from nothing, isn't he? I really believe come the end of the race, the way Stevie has been pumping them out in that Ferrari, it doesn't look much, 51s, but he's on it. I reckon he's on it. I think we're going to see him. Maybe not a podium, but he's going to be there if someone makes a mistake. So Noxie now moving his Alpine up to third. So we've got two Alpines in the top three. That's what I mean. After every phase, it's a different top three. It's really hard to call. Stevie Styler's fuel has started flashing now. Shadow Rider on those soft tyres now. We saw that he short filled when he put the super softs on. Had to go back in again. He's now 2 seconds behind Noxie, 28 seconds behind I.R. Graham. We've worked it out. It's about 35 seconds they're losing. I think about he did a 2:36. They usually do 1:50, so that's 46 seconds they lose on their pit lap. But they do about 3 seconds less. So it might be up into about 40 seconds a pit stop, and he's only 28 seconds behind I.R. Graham. So he is still net in the lead, I believe, is Shadow Rider in Tulu, also yet to pit for his second stop. Skyjacker also low on fuel. So Matt Psycho, he's the first he's next, I guess, and he is close. It's about 40 seconds of pit stop. He's going to be about 8 seconds behind I.R. Graham when I.R. Graham comes back out of the pits. Will Stevie Styler, he has to. Look at that. I'm surprised that's going to get him to the pit lane. He might have to lift a couple of times before he gets there. That's a really low fuel gauge. Noxie might go around again, you know, but Shadow Rider is catching him up. So Noxie probably opting to go in just to stay out of the way. He could have stayed out a lap, I suppose, and become a nuisance to Shadow Rider to try and help I.R. Graham. But I.R. Graham, he's racing Matt Psycho today. And where is Matt Psycho? Matt Psycho's down there. We're expecting everyone in front of Matt Psycho to pit. Intulu didn't. Intulu did stay out. He's got a bit of fuel, but those tyres look like they're hurting. And now Matt Psycho is in that third place, but we're seeing, will I.R. Graham? I.R. Graham's definitely got to come out. He's about 8 seconds ahead of him, I'd say. So IR Graham back out on track, and there is Matt Psycho in fourth. He's only just going past the pit lane. It's 8 seconds. Boy, George, did I get that right? Did I call that? What? Eh? I'm impressed with myself, I guess, guys. Honestly, that was just pure fluke. So Shadow Rider back in the lead of this race by 9.5 seconds. In Tulu, though, he's going to pit at the end of this lap, and he is only 1.3 seconds ahead of IR Graham. IR Graham on his way. He's definitely going to catch in Tulu before the end of this lap. So in Tulu, how much of a pain in the butt does he want to be for IR Graham? He's got to remember, Stevie Styler, his teammate, isn't that far behind IR Graham on track. And if IR Graham was to slow down somewhat, trying to get past cars, that would not hurt Stevie Styler's chances. So we're sat on board with IR Graham as we chase the Ferrari down of In Tulu in second spot. On lap 19 now, we're flying through this race. 36 minutes. They're going to have to extend this race. We're going to have to do like 200 miles, Jam. They're not long enough. I don't get enough out of them. I do. I get everything out of it, but ooh, it was like 49 minutes the last race. It was so fast. And there goes In Tulu. He went in, slowed IR Graham down just enough, maybe, just to help out. So In Tulu going into the pits, and Matt Psycho moving up into third place. He's cut a bit of time, so maybe that helps Matt Psycho a little bit. Who knows? IR Graham's outlap of 45.7. And Matt Psycho managing a 49.6. He did a faster flying lap when he did it, but there you go. Shadow Rider then leading by 9.8 seconds. IR Graham in second spot. Matt Psycho in third. There is a Lexus Maximus, 7.7 seconds behind those guys. He is 2 seconds ahead of the Merc. Oh no, the other Williams of Jim, sorry. Jam is in sixth after his pit stop. Only 3.5 seconds behind Jim though, so it's very close here. In Formula X, Noxie in seventh, nearly 8 seconds behind Jam, and he's 3 seconds ahead of Stevie Styler, who has just pitted, who's come out ahead of Daz, 1.5 seconds, who is in front of his teammates, Racer Brown, who's only 1.5 seconds behind Daz. Now imagine he doesn't want to take points off Daz, does Racer Brown, so he might just tuck up behind him and sit there. But then the team principal, Endurance Nut, he might decide and say, no, we need points for the constructors. Burn that boy. Burn him, Racer Brown. Just burn past him. You need points. If you're faster than him, go past him. He's not in the fight for the championship. Sorry, Daz, but you're not in the fight for the championship, are you? Well, Daz has got to pit anyway. So that sorts that problem out, because Racer Brown is going to continue on. So that is your 10th and 11th. 12th there for Skyjacker. He's recently pitted, lots of fuel, he's put the super softs on. Can't quite tell where Skyjacker is at the moment. We think he had a rough lap, because he was there in third place in the early stint of this race, and unknown to us, he did like a really slow lap, a 2 minute something lap, and he wasn't on his out lap, so we don't think he went into the pits, so we think he might have had an issue. Both McLarens looking like they're not having great races here today. And the Red Bull of Jokers jumping back in for Dutch. I don't know if he's had a lot of testing, managed to get in any testing at all. But Daz is in the pits. We surmised he was going to go in the pits. So Racer Brown moving up to 9th. In Tulu pitted. So In Tulu, oh yeah, we saw Tulu pitting, didn't we? When IR Graham came across him. So Shadow Rider is leading by 6.4 seconds. Did a 52.7 his last time around. His tyres are looking quite worn out. IR Graham pushing. He was 9 seconds, remember, with Shadow Rider. So IR Graham on an absolute blistering pace, but Matt Psycho's matching it. 49.6 from Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho in another realm. IR Graham better watch his 6. Watch your 6, Grey. Grey Fox, watch your 6. Watch your 6, Grey Fox. The Psycho's coming. The Psycho's coming. He's fully armed. He's fully armed. Roger, roger. So, Shadow Rider, he's out there, his fuel's flashing, his tyres are half and half, and he's going in. Beautiful stuff. Taking that Williams all the way. I'd love to see Shadow Rider take the win here. I know IR Graham and Matt Psycho will have something to say about it. And can they do that, though? Can they? Can they? We've only got 13 laps left of this race. We're 40 minutes in. Imagine, 9 minutes time, we'd be finishing last week. Definitely got to double that one up. If they do the oval next time this season, it's got to be the what did we do? Blue Moon, wasn't it? It's got to be the Blue Moon 300 miles, not 150 miles. That'd be awesome. So IR Graham there, 5.8 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's got the fastest lap with a 49.1. Where is he finding this pace? This Aston Martin, absolutely on fire. Are you watching, Seb? Are you watching? This is what we expect. Alexis Maximus back up there in third place for that Red Bull. I mean, how is this going to shake out? Are any of you guys out there? Are you clued up to how you think it's going to finish? Because it's the tactics, the strategies, they're so different. They're differing as each other. There's Jam. He's on half a tank of fuel. He's doing 150s real consistently. He's 2.5 seconds behind Alexis Maximus, who's done a 52.1 his last time around. He's somewhere averaging 51s. He's low on fuel though, so Jam has got that on him. Matt Psycho, half a tank of fuel. IR Graham, half a tank of fuel. These two are pretty much similar strategies. We've seen Matt Psycho pit in earlier than IR Graham. IR Graham's put those super softs on for this stint. Let's see if he can get a purple. Alexis Maximus then in third place. Jam is pulling him in for sure. Jam is definitely... Oh yeah, nice helmet. Oh yeah, Jam. I've never looked at your helmet before. That's brilliant. I've never noticed that. Swoosh. Swooshity swoosh swoosh swoosh. Jam, I apologise. Round 7. I've only just seen how fantastic your helmet is. There goes Alexis Maximus. We knew he was short on fuel. Excuse me. Noxie then in 5th place, taking the Alpine up into 4th. Yum yum. The Alpines are going to score strong today. Where did I say they were in the championship then? Let me have a quick look. I read these things out to you. I pay no attention. It's really weird. And then I tell my kids that they should pay attention in school. So yeah, Alpine are 3rd, some 9 points behind Ferrari, and less than 30 points behind Aston Martin. So yes, good points haul for Alpine. They could do with it. Excuse me. I always have this. I have this little tickle, and I think, shall I mute the mic or shall I just put my hand over the mic and in between the mic and my hand? Muting's nicer for you, but I'm just lazy. So IR Graham 4 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho chipping away at that time. IR Graham, he's probably giving it all, but IR Graham saving fuel. I think IR Graham is not pushing that car to its limit right now. I think he is letting Matt Psycho run his ragged like a bullfighter. IR Graham laying out a little red rag for Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho thinking he's gonna be catching up, thinking that he's got something on IR Graham, but what Matt Psycho does not know that IR Graham's not using fuel. He is just cruising. He's cruising. He's done a 51.0 last time round. He's eking that fuel out even more. Matt Psycho burning it through in the 49s. He's down to a quarter of a tank of fuel. We saw they were on similar fuel loads at one point, and now Matt Psycho absolutely burning his fuel, where IR Graham, he wants to go as late into this race as he possibly can, and he's giving up. Will he give up track position? Maybe he'll just speed back up when Matt Psycho reaches him. It's a very dangerous game to play, but it's definitely sure that Matt Psycho will need to come into the pits before IR Graham. In third place then, the other Aston Martin. Oh, there I was saying Alpine. needs to score some points to catch up Aston Martin. Aston Martin are first and third. Oh, Noxie's losing a position. Shadow Rider coming through. Excuse me, but... And Noxie is back down to fifth. Half a tank of fuel. I'm not even sure if they've got another stop to make. I feel like they've got another stop to make, but maybe not. We're coming up to 10 laps left, 11 laps left of this race. Noxie chasing down Shadow Rider, but Shadow Rider really, he has been on another level today. He really has raised his game here for Spa. We're thinking this might be his track. Noxie in fifth place. He's having a great race as well. A week's break there in the Bermudas for him on the beach has done him wonders. He's come back. It was the right move for the team principal, Mika Wivery, paying for him to go away on an all-inclusive holiday. That's what happens when you drive for Alpine, boys. Who did you sign for? What? You don't get paid holidays? Oh dear. Contract negotiations are needed in your team, I think. Here comes Racer Brown, reserve, but his fuel is flashing. His fuel is flashing. Okay, Mika, we'll catch you. We'll catch you later. I'll talk about you whilst you're not watching. So there goes Racer Brown. He's into the pits, and Noxie continues on. Hunty is chasing down Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider now 1 second ahead, 1.3 seconds ahead, doing a 150. So what's going on then? IR Graham, a 50.0. He's playing, isn't he? He's playing with Matt Psycho, playing with him like a mouse. He's the cat. So how many analogies am I going to do? He's the bullfighter, Matt Psycho's the bull. Then he's the cat, so Matt Psycho's the mouse. Anyone else want to have a crack at an analogy for me? But Matt Psycho absolutely driving the nuts off of that Red Bull Standard, dressed up as an Aston Martin. And IR Graham in the Alpine, doing a fantastic job. Just a nice pace, just saving fuel, I guess, as Matt Psycho, I think, maybe easing off now to try and squeeze out a couple more laps. Jam there, his fuel is flashing. Did a 52.3 the last time around. He's 7.4 seconds ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider's only got half a tank of fuel. I still think he may have to stop again before the end of this race. I have that feeling, I'm not sure. Got 10 laps left. Noxie in fifth place. Did a 52.3 the last time around with Stevie Styler in sixth, 4 seconds behind him, but he's pulling in sometimes. It looks like they're lapping. We've lost Alexis Maximus in this. Oh no, he's there. He's in ninth. So in Tulu in seventh. Skyjacker pulling himself up into eighth. 3/4 of a tank of fuel. He's got his head down and just cracked on after an early mistake. Jam into the pits. There's Alexis Maximus. He's on a similar strategy. More fuel, newer tyres than Skyjacker. A 51.5 last time around, so he's a bit faster than Skyjacker. But yes, Alexis Maximus in ninth for Red Bull, with Kel in 10th for those McLarens. They're coming through. They didn't look too hot at the beginning of this race. Well, Skyjacker did, but Kel was having a tough time. There is Jam. He's dropping down to 8th place with the pit stops. Jim in 11th. Just ahead of Racer Brown, who has just pitted, remember. So, a Racer Brown on his outlap. There is the other Mercedes, Daz. He's going to have to pit very soon. His fuel's quite low. And there is Joker's Jam, still in the pit stops. He can't be down in 13th. There he comes. Comes out, and he is in 10th place ahead of Racer Brown. Because Racer Brown's just got ahead of Jim. No, he hasn't. Jam's in 10th. Racer Brown 11th. He's just got ahead of the Williams. And there you go, the Williams trying to find a way through Eau Rouge. Sitting behind the reserve driver, Racer Brown. And Jim, he's got the toe. He's coming alongside, but Racer Brown's got that inside line. Beautiful. Now Jim's got the inside line. But they're coming out together. Whoa, what beautiful racing there between these two drivers. Matt Psycho has gone into the pits. He's burnt that fuel out now. And was it the right thing to do? Is IR Graham's strategy of just fuel saving the way to go? And there you go, Racer Brown in the end comes out on top between the Merc and the Williams, and Daz only 6 tenths behind Jim now. Jim and Daz, I'm sure we've seen them a few times come race each other on the track. Let's have a look at Daz's helmet. There you go, very nice. Daz needing a pit stop though, and I think Jim, he's got a few more laps to go before he needs to come in. Yes, he's got a quarter of a tank, sorry. Now IR Graham's fuel is flashing, so he didn't have that much more than Matt Psycho. I thought he was going to get a couple of laps out of that. We're 50 minutes into this race. Shadow Rider back up into second spot. He's only got a quarter of a tank of fuel. He's getting purples again though. He's pushing the boundaries. There's Noxie up into third place. The Mika would probably love it to say that's it, call it, get the flag out. The last two races have only been like 51 minutes and 49 minutes. How come this one is still going on? Even the drivers would be surprised. They've got used to these quick short races. Stevie Styler then in his Ferrari. He's going to have to pit. Sitting in fourth at the moment, ahead of Matt Psycho, who came out of the pits. He's topped her right up. He's put racing softs on. Is that it for him for the rest of this race now? The last, what, 8 laps? IR Graham into the pits now to top up, get some new tyres. Shadow Rider making his way round 32 seconds. It's going to be nipped up between those two. The last time they pitted, it was 15 seconds, so IR Graham has pulled out a little bit of time on Shadow Rider. It's going to be tight, this pit stop. There is Noxie. Noxie also needing to come in. Stevie Styler also will have to come in at the end of this lap. Matt Psycho will then resume second spot. Shadow Rider opting to come in at the same time, and Noxie. So they've all pitted, and Stevie Styler, all top 4 have pitted. Matt Psycho, no. Maybe that was the right way to go. Maybe it is. Is that enough fuel for the end of the race? No, IR Graham's back out. IR Graham's back out. Matt Psycho. It wasn't enough. Pushing as hard as he was, it wasn't enough. IR Graham. He's put a little less fuel on. He's put the super softs back on as well. This is crazy. What's happened? Oh, Matt Psycho was so much closer than that before the pit stops. I'm sure of it. I know IR Graham fueled a little less than Matt Psycho, but really 7 seconds is a surprise. Alexis Maximus back up into that third spot, but he's got to make a pit stop in the next lap or two, and there is Jam ahead of Shadow Rider. Is this till the end of the race? Has Jam got himself ahead of Shadow Rider? It looks like IR Graham and Matt Psycho may also have done, but I think Shadow Rider's taken an extra pit stop to these guys, didn't he? Short-filled it on the super side. Oh, Shadow Rider losing all downforce through that chicane, and now Racer Brown is nearly up the side of him, but he's backed out of it. No, he's not. He hasn't backed out of it. He just thought, I'm going to wait till the apex. And there we go. Racer Brown through after Shadow Rider making that small mistake. The car really heavy. The tyres cool. He's got to get used to a lot in that car. Graham then leading the way after his pit stop. Is this it? Is this the run till the end? Just finishing lap 28. Going to start lap 29. Yes, you look very pretty. Fox, yeah, yes, you're a fox. There you go. IR Graham. He's leading the race, 6.9 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. We'll have a run through. Matt Psycho, have I seen his helmet? Oh yes, it's the children's. Oh come on, we did like 2.5 hour race all about it. The Child's Fund, sick children's. It's for sick children's parents. Sorry. I can't remember. I can't think. The brain is only working at a certain percentage at the moment. IR Graham leading from Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho is ahead of Jam. We're not sure if these three have to pit again for the end of this race. They may not have to. Racer Brown fought his way up into 4th place. We saw made a mistake on the very beginning of this race some 55 minutes ago, and now he is up into 4th place. Matt Psycho's got your fastest lap with a 49.179. I'm not sure that's going to get beaten before the Sick Children's Trust. That's it. It was Trust I was struggling with because I kept calling it Society by accident, but I knew it wasn't Society. So Sick Children's Trust, sorry, that's what Matt Psycho's helmet's for. There you go, Sick Children's Trust. Brilliant. So Racer Brown, unbelievable stuff there in 4th place. Shadow Rider, is that enough fuel to go to the end? Because Racer Brown will have to pit, surely. He's going to have to pit before the end of this race. He's catching Jam up though. Ooh, he's out there on the curbs. Racer Brown certainly having fun out there in his Mercedes. He's just whooshed past a Shadow Rider, and now he is heading up to the Jam. Wham bam Jam, thank you ma'am. Can he get it on Jam? Although Jam probably knows he's not racing. I mean, it amazes me the awareness they do have, these drivers. And there you go, that's what it's like to drive into the pit lane at Spa. Beautiful stuff. Io Graham out there, just over half a tank of fuel. Matt Psycho also a little bit more than Io Graham. Jam is got about the same as his teammate Matt Psycho. Shadow Rider, yes, it's just over half a tank. Noxie just over half a tank. So we're thinking that is the magic number. Half a tank is to get you home. 6th place for Stevie Styler. So this must be the order if they can stay in these positions. Alexis and Maximus, half a tank of fuel. In Tulu, yeah, I'm getting it. Skyjacker, they're all got similar fuels. This is it. This is the last run. Kale just waiting for Racer Brown to come out of the pits. Similar fuel alongside Kale. Kale moving up. Racer Brown down into 11th spot now, ahead of his teammate Daz. Not a great day for the Mercedes here. And Jim coming out ahead of Daz also. So no, Daz getting the Williams as it exits the pit stop. Have a look at that helmet. Looks cool. There you go. Jim on Wise. Well, not Jim on Wise, it's Jim 66, obviously. Daz in 12th. Oh, we looked at his. And it looks like Jim making the move on the Mercedes. That Mercedes definitely looks like it's hurting with something. Oof, what have I done? Definitely looks like it's hurting with some sort of down on power, weight maybe. But the Mercs development plan this season are not gone the way they wanted it, I assume. Io Graham still leading. Pat saying 6 children. Oh yeah, we saw that. Io Graham then 7.4 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho 49.4 last time around. 49.3 for Io Graham on lap 29 and a 50.0. We've got 4 laps to go after this lap. Jam some 26 seconds behind his teammate, only 2 seconds ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider a 50.3 his last time around. Jam managing a 50.9, 6/10 faster was Shadow Rider. This is the battle for podium. Noxie 7.2 seconds behind Shadow Rider, 51.1 for him. Stevie Styler a 50.7. He's only 4 seconds behind Noxie. He'll be pushing hard to try and reach the back of that Alpine before the end of this race. He's got Alexis Maximus some 12 seconds behind him. In 7th place, Alexis Maximus just doing his fastest lap with a 50.112. In Tulu, the second Ferrari driver, he's some 2.8 seconds behind Alexis Maximus, so he'll be pushing to try and catch up that Red Bull. You are weird. My child's dressed up like a fox. So 9, the fantastic Mr. Fox. There you go. Skyjacker in 9th place, 51.8 the last time around from him. He's only 3.2 seconds behind in Tulu, and 4.6 seconds ahead of an absolutely blazing Racer Brown. And they're blazing, man. He's a blazing. So Racer Brown on it today. 11th there for Kale. Jim there in Williams for 12th. Daz in 13th and Joker. So the battle we think that is coming. Jam and Shadow Rider. Jam just coming up towards the line. He managed a 50.638. Shadow Rider crossing the line of 50.5. It's only a 10th. And Jam gets to drive around in third for another lap. Jam, all he has to do, he can do that all day long. If that is the lap time Shadow Rider is doing, and that is Jam, then that is all done and dusted there, as long as no one throws it off the track. 6.7 seconds between I.R. Graham and Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho a 49.4 his last time around. He really is putting hammer to metal. I.R. Graham a 49.9. I.R. Graham seems to be slower than Matt Psycho today, but he's got track position. He is ahead. So Matt Psycho must be frustrated, seeing that he's got the fastest lap. Whoa, he's pushing that chassis as far as he possibly can in the Aston Martin. Fantastic driving there from Matt Psycho. Third place then, the other Aston Martin, just what we needed. 2 Aston Martins in the podium, as they're leading the championship anyway. Their closest competitors, Alpine and Ferrari. One's obviously winning, leading. Is he winning? He's winning. He's leading. I suppose when he crosses the line, he has won. But while he's leading, he's winning. It's weird, I suppose. I've never thought about Formula 1. In football, for 90 minutes, if you're a goal up, you are winning. And at 90 minutes, you win. In Formula 1, does that mean you're winning when you're in the lead? There you go. So I.R. Graham is 6.3 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho getting purples again. Matt Psycho, he wants the win, but there's only 2 laps after this lap. Mick Weary says, okay, what did I miss? How's my boys doing? You've got I.R. Graham in first place, Noxie in 5th. He tried to fight Shadow Rider, but Shadow Rider just blew on by. Shadow Rider's in a different realm today, but he has lost 3 positions ahead of him. And he did do an extra pit stop though. He took an extra pit stop on these boys, and now he has to do it all in the last 2 laps, which it seems an impossible feat. So I.R. Graham 6.2 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho, but Matt Psycho is absolutely ragging that Aston Martin. He wants to get close, but it's tenths. They're tenths apart. Well, that was nearly 6 tenths that lap, but he's got to find a lot more than that in the next 2 laps. There, Jam doing a 50.4. He's only 1.3 seconds ahead of Shadow Rider. A podium for Williams today would be absolutely amazing, but as a great man once said, there's one thing catching someone, it's another getting past them. So Shadow Rider, he can keep smashing those quick laps in. Once he gets to the rear end of Jam, he's going to find it a struggle to get past the Aston Martin, I believe. There is Noxie. He's in 5th place, a 51.2 last time around from him. He's 9.3 seconds behind Shadow Rider, 4.5 seconds ahead of Stevie Styler. Now, I said Stevie Styler was going to be setting about, he was going to be setting about the Alpine driver, but he seems to be doing similar lap times, and I don't think the Ferrari's got anything more in it. We saw that it got a boost in power, but really, 6th is probably the best Stevie could do today. We've seen him driving immaculately, pushing as much as he could. In 6th place is looking about what it is. He's even lost time on Noxie now on that lap. 51, oh no. Yeah, 52.4 his last time around for Stevie Styler. He's still 11 seconds ahead of Alexis Maximus. Alexis Maximus struggling with pace at the moment at 53.0 last time around from him. In Tulu down to 2.8 seconds. But we've got one more lap. Is it one more lap after this? 34, and then we do lap 35 across the line to win. Yeah, so one more lap after this one. into the 51.2, which was a couple of seconds faster than Alexis Maximus. Alexis Maximus ragging that Red Bull. Looks like a handful. Racer Brown. He's 3/10 ahead of Skyjacker. I don't know if he's just got past Skyjacker or not. Skyjacker doing his fastest lap last time round, a 50.7. Racer Brown doing a 49.1. Unbelievable. And takes the fastest lap. Racer Brown flying. Skyjacker in 10th. Kale is in 11th, some 4 seconds behind his teammate, but 17 seconds ahead of the Williams of Jim, who's 3.2 seconds ahead of Daz. Jokers, I think, is a lap down, because it's not saying the time. 3 minutes 10. So IR Graham, he's on his final lap now. What a race he's put in. That fuel is right on the rim, but I'm sure he's going to be fine. I don't know, it's a long lap. He's 4.2 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's fuel's flashing, but he's got a bit more fuel than IR Graham. IR Graham might be having to ease off quite a lot on this lap. Will it be 4 seconds worth? I doubt it. I can't see that. So Matt Psycho pushing up till the bitter end. Jam, he's in a fine place. It looks like Shadow Rider's dropped off a little bit. 51.9 last time around for Shadow Rider. Jam doing a 50.9. So yeah, nearly a second slower than Jam. And his fuel's flashing, so he'll probably start easing off. Ooh, Shadow. Looked like the podium was definitely on. Maybe even the win today. But the Alpine and Aston Martin boys, I don't know how or where from, they've really come through. We're seeing here IR Graham coming up to finish his lap. How quick has this race felt? It's been an hour and 6 minutes. It's just felt like it's flown by, guys. Really enjoyed it. Hope you guys did too. And there he goes. He ran out of fuel just before the line. And here comes Matt Psycho. 2.5 seconds behind after an hour and 6 minutes of racing. In 3rd place, we've got Jam on the podium, standing proud. He's got a way to go yet. That fuel's flashing. He's 5 seconds ahead of Shadow Ride. Shadow Ride really easing off that accelerator. Noxie some 6 seconds behind. Noxie's got fuel. Get on it, Noxie. These guys might run out of fuel. There's Jam coming around the final corner to take the final podium position for Aston Martin. Congratulations. Take a boo, my son. And then Shadow Rider here. He's virtually no fuel as he crosses the line in 4th. Noxie 5th place. Great 5th place for Alpine. Brilliant stuff there for Noxie. Stevie Styler in 6th. They were all on fumes as they crossed the line. Racer Brown. He's got himself ahead of the Red Bull. Great stuff from Racer Brown. Moving up to 7th place for Mercedes. Very close behind him is the Red Bull. I think the Red Bull's run out of fuel. Skyjacker McLaren has come up into 8th. And Tulu gets 9th. Oh, poor Alexis Maximus losing 3 spots on that last lap. 11th for Kale. Jim there in 12th place. Oh, poor Alexis Maximus. In the last corner, 3 spots. Unbelievable luck, Jeff. So Jim coming across the line in 12th for Williams, and Daz bringing that Merc home in 13th. Joker's already crossing the line for 14th. What a race. Fantastic stuff. There you go. There's your finishing positions, and here comes your winner. Yay, in his Zingray outfit, looking absolutely dashing, the Lord and Master of Spa, IR Graham. God, GT Sport, couldn't you have kept that up a bit longer? I was doing the big talk up. So let us go and have a look at your race results. Whoo-wee, God, that was something, wasn't it? IR Graham took the win for Alpine. In 2nd spot, Matt Psycho. I mean, IR Graham ran out of fuel, remember, just before the line. It was, if Matt Psycho was any closer, wow. There's going to be a lot of what ifs after this race. People are asking themselves. But IR Graham takes the win with Matt Psycho in a fantastic 2nd spot for Aston Martin. And the other Aston Martin driver, Jam, taking the final spot of the podium. Congratulations, guys. In fourth, Shadow Rider just missing out. He was up there. He was fighting for positions. The wind looked like it was on at some point, but I think he took an extra stop, a little short stint on those super softs, and I think it may have cost him a position or two. Noxie in a fifth place for Alpine. A fantastic race for Noxie. Great stuff after his a week's break. It's 2 weeks, because I think we had a week off before that. I think his team manager had paid for him to go away for a nice 2-week holiday, all inclusive. So in sixth place, Stevie Styler in the Ferrari. I think that's all he could do today in that Ferrari. The development, I'm sure they got extra power, but it just looked like there was something fundamentally not happening for the Ferrari today. Racer Brown in seventh. We saw he was right at the back after the standing start, and he has fought his way up through the field to get seventh for Mercedes. They must be very pleased with that. Skyjacker there getting eighth at the end off of Alexis and Maximus, with Alexis Maximus running out of fuel. So great eighth place for Skyjacker. Think earlier on he was up there looking like a podium was on the cards, but I don't know, it looks like he lost a lot of time in one lap, and that's put him back somewhat. In ninth place, Ferrari driver in Tulu. 10th place, Alexis Maximus running out of fuel just before the line, losing 3 spots. 11th there for Kale after his long 24-hour race. It looks like he was dog-tired at the beginning of the race and started coming back into it. In 12th, Jim in the Williams. 13th, Daz for Mercedes, and Jokers there in 14th spot. Your fastest lap of the race was got on lap 33, and it was Racer Brown. I thought it was going to be Matt Psycho, but Racer Brown pipping him with a 49.154. Well, there you go. Oh, I don't suppose anyone's listening now, so they don't care. But next week we're going to try and do a bonanza. We are going to try and bring you some sort of racing every evening. So Monday evening we'll probably see the replay live of the Pacific Rim. Tuesday night we will see one of the lobbies from GTMC. On Wednesday night then we will see the other lobby of GTMC on a replay. These will all be in the evening when you're just dossing around, so you can jump in and listen in. Then on Thursday we'll be live with the Pacific Rim, and then Friday the Max 5s again. So hopefully, hey, Endurance not still here, hopefully next week for your pleasure the VRC will be live every single night with a replay or with an actual live race. That's probably not that big of a deal to you. You probably say yes, so wonderful, but that's what we're going to try and do just for you guys. I was your commentator and broadcaster, Neil and Blomy. Thank you for checking us out. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for the chat and being involved. In the end there, we've got a few people in the chat saying, Pat saying, I know, thank you. Mika Wivery says, that's cutting it fine. Mika Wivery said, get in there, Noxie. Alan Sykes said, enjoyed that, guys. Cheers. Flashman said, well done, Team Williams. Chris says, GG, good game, good game. And Endurance Nut says, I'm still here. So that is it. We've wrapped it all up. Thank you very much for watching. Like I already said, I was your broadcaster, your commentator, Neil and Blomy. Bye.